Hello everyone, this is me, Lynn Tackett.
And this is Shawn.
Welcome to TNT Big Show, which is a fast-growing small channel. And thank you for everyone for the new subs and stuff. Please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We'd really appreciate it. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. If you like the video, don't forget to thumbs it up and leave a comment. We really love discussing stuff like this. Join our Patreon for as low as $1 a month. You get stuff like Jack's Joke of the Week and all that fun stuff.
Or new content's coming.
Exactly. Or you can donate to our PayPal. And you can also join our social media sites like Instagram, and WordPress blog, and TikTok, and Discord, and Reddit. All this stuff will be in a pinned comment in the description below. Now that all those pleasantries are out of the way, you have no idea how happy I am to see Metroid Dread do what it's doing in the pre-orders. It's setting a lot of records for 2D Metroid and just Metroid games in general. Wow, I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. I want to talk about my love for Metroid games. It started back on the NES. I rented it from a friend of ours who just lived down the street. Video store was just down the street. And we would go there, and Shawn would get him horror movies and stuff. And I would get Nintendo games, and I got Metroid, and I played it a lot. And I thought it was just such a fun, unique game. And when I found out that the heroine was named Samus, was a woman, that made me like it even more. I played 2D Metroid on the Game Boy, and I don't care what anyone says, I actually really liked that game, even though I know it had some flaws. I still had a fun time. But it was Super Metroid that made me a hyper fan. I was already a hyper fan of the Mario and Zelda series. But when I played Super Metroid, it was simply one of the best games I'd ever played. The map was huge. The graphics, to me, were some of the best I had seen at the time. It had this incredible, creepy music and atmosphere. The gameplay was much more refined than the first two. There were a lot of unique weapons and power-ups, upgrades. I loved exploring every inch of Zebes. I loved every single minute of Super Metroid, and even to this day, I still play it. As Shawn, when I'm on the Super NES online on the Switch,
you do.
I have played that game for over 10 hours.
Yep. She does.
Yeah, but I have beaten Super Metroid over 30 times. On my own personal record of beating it within an hour and 20 minutes, 100%ing everything. That's how good I was in the game back in the day. And then I moved on to play Metroid Zero Mission, which was an incredible remake of the first one for the Game Boy Advance. I loved it. I thought it was much better than the original one. Even though I loved the original game, it definitely needed to be upgraded. And Metroid Zero Mission was, to me, is still one of the best remakes of a video game I've ever played. And then, of course, came Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion. Now, yes, I played Metroid Mission later than those, but I had to mention that because I just love the first Metroid game, but to me, they're much better. But I got to play Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion, and Metroid Prime, to me, is still one of the 10 best video games I've ever played. The design was just perfect. They took a 2D franchise and they revolutionized first-person games with it. It wasn't a first-person shooter. It was a platform game. It was an adventure game. You solved puzzles. You interacted with the environments in a way that had never been done before. It was the biggest-selling Metroid game with 2.84 million. It should have sold more. People were so enthralled with Grand Theft Auto that they ignored Metroid Prime, which was a hell of a lot better game. And Metroid Fusion is probably my favorite 2D Metroid game. It was so terrifying. The tense atmosphere, incredible tension just in every corridor that you don't know where the villain, I'm not going to give it away who the villain is, but you're being chased, and it just does such a great job with the dread and fear aspects that you're on pins and needles. Like if you hear a drop of water in the game, you get nervous. You jump and get jittery. And then we have the Prime games, which I absolutely loved. Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, and unlike Other M, I know I'm going to get crap for that.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah, I had some disagreements with the story and stuff and how they handled it, but the fact is I loved the gameplay. I had fun. Even though I didn't love everything about it, to me, I still really liked it. And another unpopular opinion, I thought Federation Force was way underrated. It's not like the best Metroid game, no, not by a mile, but it was a fun side game. I think if they were to release that game now, after Dread, Prime 4 and stuff, put it in the middle, people wouldn't be as mad. Because it'd be a little side game to keep people Metroid whole until one of the bigger games came. So I love Metroid, and I highly recommend people buy Metroid Dread. It looks incredible, and I know some people are like, well, you have to do backtracking and stuff. Well, thankfully, they're going to put little markers in there. I wonder if they're going to do fast track or not. We'll see.
We'll see.
But the thing is, I love Metroid games so much, I don't like to use fast travel. I like to absorb every room and every nook and cranny in the games because, yes, they're shooters, but they revolutionized shooters, the 2D Metroid games did. They were about exploration and puzzle solving and upgrading your weapon and going back and finding things that you couldn't find before. It was the series that laid the foundation for Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, all these games that people love now. You have the Metroid series to thank for that. So don't listen to people who say that it may not be worth $60 for this 2D. Smash Brothers
was 2D.
2D.
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. 2D.
2D.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Kirby. Yoshi. Oh, Mortal Kombat 11 is 2D. Street Fighter 5 is 2D.
But real quick, like people don't buy 2D games in the 21st century. Smash Brothers have sold Ultimate. Sold how many on the Switch?
23, 24 million.
And new Super Mario Brothers U?
About 10 to 11 million.
So people buy 2D games.
Yeah, don't listen to people. Listen to your heart. If you think it looks like a $60 game, I think Nintendo should release a demo. Release a demo and let people get the ideal of what Metroid is. The older games are exploding in sales on the Wii U eShop and on the market, or Metroid 2 and them are going up in sales.
Real quick, I have to admit, I really didn't like the Metroid series at first.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I mean, I don't know. I thought the game, when I was younger, you know, when you're a kid and you want video games, you want fast, and Metroid was too slow for me. But then, as I grew older and I got into the Metroid Prime series, I go back and I look at Super Metroid and all of them. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for Metroid Dread. I can't wait for it. I'm excited.
I know that's what some people are worried about. It's like, are these games too slow and stuff? Well, just look at it this way. Like when you're playing Hollow Knight and them, you're going through corridors and stuff, and sometimes you have to go back.
Yeah.
If that doesn't bother you, then give it a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
This is Michelle Lynn Tackett.
This is Shawn.
Have a good one, everybody. Go big or don't show.